welcome to the Gamers Table. It is Monday, and we're reviewing Drizzt with a new guy because we don't like Ken anymore. He's out. Actually, no. It's just we're expanding the lineup to have more guys, and you've seen Sean before. You've probably seen Chad in our Heroescape episode with a little bit, and we got more people that know
Best
games.
game ever!
Best game ever! And Chad also does Stormgate reviews, which are written reviews that you can find online.
Yep.
So check those out. Anyway, Drizzt, the Legend of Drizzt. The Dungeons & Dragons, the Legend of Drizzt board game is an adventure game featuring the characters and locations described in the novels by R.A. Salvatore. Some adventures are cooperative, where you and your fellow heroes must work as a team to succeed. Other adventures are more competitive, and you must outwit and outmaneuver the other players to win. Each player selects a hero, one of the companions of the hall. Choose from the Drow Ranger, Drizzt Do'Urden, the Dwarf Fighter, Brunor Battlehammer, the Human Archer, Caddy Bree, the Halfling Rogue, Regis, or the Human Barbarian, Wulfgar. Later adventures feature some other characters met by Drizzt, including the Drow Mercenary Leader, Jaxal Bairn, the Dwarf Battle Ranger, Athro Great, and the dreaded assassin, Artemis Entreri. Once you've selected your heroes, you're ready to enter the Underdark. As Wrath of Ashardalon, Castle Ravenloft, the same stuff. Go into the dungeon, do the objective.
It gets better every time as far as I'm concerned. New characters, new abilities, new ways of doing things.
Guards.
New ways to throw components. I mean, it's an improvement. Castle Ravenloft, I think, was too hard. Wrath of Ashardalon, it was a lot more balanced. And now Drizzt is, I would even call it more balanced. Or it's about the same as far as balance, as far as difficulty. We have yet to lose a game of this one, but it's been close. It's been challenging every time. You had to work the monsters and tiles as the best you could. Like if you got to move the monster 2 tiles, you move them exactly where you want them, so they're in prime spot for you to hit. As
we said, more of the same, but little changes. The characters are more powerful, definitely.
I think the biggest thing is the stances on the characters.
Yeah.
They all have different stances that give different abilities.
Well, they don't all have that, but yeah, most of
A
them
lot
do.
of them do,
A
yeah.
lot of them do, and multiple.
Yeah. In this one, there are more of the 2 tile connected pieces than there are in any of the other ones, which makes for a bigger one. And you can, some of them, mostly in the competitive style dungeons, you get the edge pieces. I'm gonna find one for you this time, because that's all there is to it.
There's also a basic and advanced game now, where the basic game you only get to choose from, I think it's 5 characters, and the advanced game has 8, which is more than the other games.
And that's also a different thing in this game. Some of the playable characters are also bad guys.
Yep.
They also have pets in this one too.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Like character pets that react like monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Drizzt has his pet panther.
And one of the
Dwarves
has a
something
pig.
A pig?
Pot-bellied pig that
Snort.
runs around.
Snort.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I thought you were telling me something too.
Snort again.
I'm gonna find one for you this time, because that's all there is to it.
So it plays differently than the previous games in that the party can actually be split. You have a set of heroes and you have a set of anti-heroes, just like in the novels. You have Drizzt and his crew, and Jarlaxle and then Entreri and their crew. Some of the adventures they could be mix and match, some of them they can't. In this game, you can of course put in the components from the previous games to make them, harder or easier depending on what you put in and take out.
As you can see, I've started painting the figures because I like doing that for all of them. I'm actually a little behind. I'm still working on the Ashardalon figures as well, but I will get them all painted eventually because it just makes the whole game look better.
The components are great. You have, the same quality, awesome miniatures. That's not exactly mini, but you have the great quality minis. The game shares its components from some other games. For example, the water elementals were also used in the Dungeons & Dragons Collector's game and in Heroescape.
I'm gonna find one for you this time, because that's all there is to it.
Well, I like the changes to the tiles as well as all the different character stances and stuff like that. Every time they release one of these games, they add better little details and more fun stuff to the game, like the narrow passageways, volcanic vents. I know there's a lot of dangers for the adventurers in these dungeons and stuff, but it's not like an endless amount of monsters again. Not all of the encounters are bad, which is nice because you're not constantly getting hit, because trying to heal yourself in the game is a pain in the rear.
Yeah, it is. It's entertaining. It's an improvement on original for sure. I still believe that the encounters are the worst part of the game. The monsters are not anywhere near as discouraging some of those encounter cards. Draw an encounter card. Everybody within one tile takes 2 damage, and even if they pass the test, they still take 1 damage.
Yeah.
Oh, you get
You're
traps
having
and
the
stuff.
whole
Oh.
the whole party taking 2 points of damage at least, and up to 12 points of damage total, and not having the ability to heal anybody.
That really plays into the effect of the difference between the beginner and the advanced game. The advanced game adds a lot more really bad events in. The beginner deck, for lack of a better term, has not quite as bad things in it.
Yeah.
The Mark of Lolth.
Those curses are unpleasant.
Mark of Lolth sucks.
I'm gonna find one for you this time because
It's so there's not a lot of changes between this and the original games. There's Snort, the pet warthog thing, whatever it is. It's different enough that people who already have the first 2 games won't be like, yeah, it's the same from the previous ones. Why would I spend, the money for, the same game over? Because it does add enough. The stances add a neat flavor to the game. Like I said, the traps are new. They have traps that move you around. They suck you towards something or move you away from it. And so they're auto-damaging, and it's just brutal.
In a lot of times in the competitive dungeons, you build the map ahead of time, and you use these pieces that are called edge pieces that fit on like thus, so far ending that. So you can't go that way any further, which is kind of a neat addition. It's all caverns, but even so, it will mix with the other tiles from Chardalon and Ravenloft. Wrapping up for the Legend of Drizzt, I will give Dungeons & Dragons The Legend of Drizzt board game a 10 out of 10. But that's not surprising. I also give that to Wrath of Chardalon, because these games just keep getting better and better. This has everything that I like about a game. It even has the competitive side for Chris.
Yay, competitive! There I am. I gave Legend of Drizzt a 9. It is fun, but it still has a D20. I hate D20.
I'm going to give it a 9.5. Well, yeah, they do keep improving on these games.
I'm giving it a 9.5. I've got about 240 games on my BGG profile, and this is the second highest rated that I've got. It's really, really good.
I think it's worth a rating of a 10, because even if you're, don't have friends around and you want to play the game by yourself, it's perfectly doable at that. The creature AI and the event AI is very straightforward, understandable, clean, clear. It's well worth the investment.
One thing I must add about this game is you need to play it to your advantage. Like if it says move the monster to the next tile, you put it in the space where you want it. You need to play it like that.
Yep.
There's enough bad stuff going on that you don't need to give it any more advantage.
You got to give it and play it in the most advantageous way possible.
Well, yeah, think about what your characters can do.
Everybody needs to discuss.
Utilities and at wills. Think about words of it.
Don't just place a monster next to the closest character when there's 2 choices.
Yeah, right. Okay, that guy's already got 5 damage on him. What are you putting him there for?
Because he's the barbarian. Hit me more so I can do more damage.
Yeah, if I can actually hit, I get a +5.
One thing about this series of games that I find is that it's not really like any of the other dungeon crawlers out there. A lot of people want to compare it to things like Ascent or even the new one, Super Dungeon Explorer, but those games are combative, where one player is the game and you're actively trying to destroy the players. This game doesn't have any of that. It's purely cooperative, unless you're playing the competitive variant, but it's purely cooperative for the most part. It takes a while to teach somebody. There's so many little fiddly components and so many tiles and tokens that it just seems like a whole lot to dump on somebody all at once. I've played this game with new groups several times, and each time it takes a good half an hour to an hour to teach it to somebody. But once they get the hang of it, it's pretty much, here's what you do, and do it over and over again.
But again, that's
Well,
also a bonus. That's the sort of thing you want when you get a new game. You want a lot of stuff.
They want a lot of pretty.
It sticks with its high quality components that you come to expect from Wizards of the Coast and this bunch of games.
You can see it's a lot of fun to put away too. Yeah, you just kind of throw everything in the box. Yeah. Or on the floor.
The insert does hold the part. So
If you put it away right.
You gotta be pretty, because that takes up a quarter of the box.
It's huge.
Right there. It's 1/4 belongs to that guy. But you can get it all in there if you play with it.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of Descent. I have it all.
We're still tapey. You can leave it until we're done.
We getting
Holy
the second
crap.
edition.
Ken's the maid here.
You done?
Go do my dishes.
Okay. I'm a huge fan of Descent. I am totally getting the second edition. We're in the middle of a massive campaign. We're on like hour 120 or something.
Yeah,
But that's for
crazy.
another review.
We haven't
And
played it in
that's
quite a
another
while.
review. But
Yeah.
this game scratches a similar itch, I think. For people who like Descent, I think. Higher.
He's scratching your head.
I think this game is good for anybody who likes the adventure style game. Anybody who likes those kind of games, this should be in your collection.
For sure.
Well, they've already done it.
Okay, so
Alright.
that's it for another episode of the Gamers Table. Tune in next week for another game.
We
Oh,
need
by
a
the
bigger
way,
table.
We also, I want to hear
We
back
need a
from you
bigger
guys.
room.
What do you think of having more reviewers on the show? I mean, we're not going to always do this crazy pile up of guys at the end, but what do you think of having
We need
more
like
reviewers
another
on the
person
show?
here, and then someone in the middle of the back, and maybe someone
We
lying.
need
on the table.
bleachers.
Planking.
Stadium seating.
Yeah, someone planking on the table. Perfect.
See you next time.
Chris is bringing down my neck.
Okay, so Drizzt, it's the third game in the series. It improves a bit again over the second in the series, which improved in the first in the series. It's a dungeon crawler style game. It's different. Would you guys shut up? Shut it! Okay, so we got it's are they finished? Are you finished? Are you finished? Okay.
Question is open.
Don't sit your ass down.
Just the camera.
That's what I mean. Sit down. I need to know where the picture's going to be.
Mustache.
Look, it's it's Ken and Chad and the
Gigantor!
He's really big.
I'll crouch.
There we go.
I'll just sit up higher. No, we're about even. Oh my, can we get scooched down?
I think you're cut off. I think your forehead's cut off.
I'll just come down here. How's this?
I like my idea better where you pop up in front of the camera.
There's a
and
little
pop back
more
down.
screen than this.
It's one small step for man, one